Today, we're going to take a trip back in time, all the way back to the 17th century, a time when our whole understanding of life itself was about to be flipped on its head. We're going to witness the discovery of a secret world, one hidden from the naked eye, that is, quite literally, the foundation of everything alive.
I mean, think about it for a second. It's a simple question, right? But it changes everything. You look around you, you see trees, animals, other people. But what if that's just the surface? What if there's this bustling, absolutely chaotic, microscopic universe just beneath what we can see, driving it all?
So our story kicks off in a world lit by candlelight, long before we had the tools to see what was really going on. This was life before the lens.
Just try to picture it, a time of incredible scientific curiosity, but one where your only light source is a flickering candle. Knowledge was exploding, but it was all limited by the power of the human eye. There was this whole other dimension of biology just waiting, right beyond our senses. A secret nature was keeping all to itself.
And that brings us to this date right here, the huge turning point, the year 1665. Before this moment, what you could see was what you got. That was the limit. But that limit, it was about to be absolutely shattered, and our very definition of life would change forever because of it.
And this is where we meet our first key figure, an English scientist named Robert Hooke. You see, his incredible discovery didn't start with something living, but with, well, you could almost call it its ghost. So let's step into Hooke's laboratory. It's probably filled with glass jars, old books, all sorts of scientific instruments. And right there on his table is a pretty new invention, the compound microscope. He's a curious guy, so he's pointing this new eye at all sorts of everyday things, including, of all things, a piece of cork. His process was actually super simple. He cut this incredibly thin slice of cork, from a bottle stopper, popped it on his microscope stage, and took a look. But what he saw was anything but simple. It was this orderly, repeating, almost honeycomb-like pattern, something no human being had ever laid eyes on before. And in his own words, Hooke described it perfectly. He said he could perceive it to be, quote, all perforated and porous, a mass of tiny box-like compartments. And those little compartments reminded him of something really familiar. You see, those tiny, box-like structures look just like the cella, the small, simple rooms where monks lived in a monastery. And from that one little comparison, he coined a brand new scientific term that has stuck around for centuries, the cell. Okay, but here's the really crucial part to understand. Hooke wasn't actually seeing life itself. He was looking at the empty, rigid walls left behind by dead plant cells. He had found the architecture, the empty house, but the living resident, well, that was still a complete mystery. And it would take another curious mind to find it. So while Hooke was busy sketching these empty rooms over in England, another man in the Netherlands was about to find their inhabitants. This next chapter introduces us to a whole universe of life, hidden away in a single drop of water. Meet Antony van Leeuwenhoek. Now, this guy wasn't a formal scientist like Hooke. He was a draper, a cloth merchant, but he was also a master lens grinder. He made his own really simple single-lens microscopes, but the quality was so ridiculously high, they were actually way more powerful than the fancier, more complex microscopes of his time. And what did he decide to look at with this incredible new device? Something even more common than a piece of cork. He scooped up a single drop of pond water, put it on his lens, and peered inside. What he saw must have been just breathtaking. It was this chaotic, vibrant world packed into that one little drop. Countless tiny creatures, which he adorably called animalcules, or tiny animals, were just swimming and darting and tumbling all over the place. It was a universe of life in a place that everyone assumed was just empty. And this was the missing piece of the puzzle. Leeuwenhoek was the very first human in history to witness living single-celled organisms. He had finally found the residence for Robert Hooke's empty rooms. So now we've got these two absolutely monumental discoveries made just a few years apart. But how do they fit together? How do they end up creating a brand new science? Well, let's just put them side by side. You've got Hooke, who starts with cork and finds the boxes, the structure of dead cells. Then comes Leeuwenhoek, who looks at pond water and finds the animalcules, the dynamic, amazing life of living cells. It's like one discovered the house and the other discovered the tenant living inside. And this is the profound reality that their work revealed. All life is made of cells. It's that simple and that huge. Hooke gave us the word and the concept of a basic building block.
Then Leeuwenhoek showed us that these blocks could be living, breathing, independent organisms all on their own. And together, with those two insights, they laid the entire foundation for cell theory, which is one of the most important pillars of all of modern biology.
These men pulled back a curtain on a world that nobody even knew existed, and they did it with nothing more than curiosity and some ground-up glass. It really makes you wonder, right? As we develop these incredible new tools like AI and quantum computing, what other invisible universes are just waiting for us to discover next?